The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 110.26a, dictates the working space requirements in front of electrical equipment. This section mandates a working space that is at least 30 inches wide and 36 inches deep, measured from the enclosure front. It's important to note that the code does not mandate this working space to be directly centered on the electrical equipment. The primary objective is to ensure sufficient space for safe operation and maintenance of the equipment. Consider an example with 3 panel boards installed side by side. The illustration in the NEC handbook depicts a scenario where the 30-inch wide working space isn't precisely centered on each individual panel board. Instead, the working space extends across multiple panel boards, ensuring an adequate area for personnel to safely operate and maintain the equipment. The NEC permits this arrangement because the critical factor is the availability of sufficient space for safe operation and maintenance, not the precise entering of the working space. The interpretation of sufficient space hinges on various factors, including the voltage of the equipment, the presence of exposed live parts, and the overall layout of the electrical room. For instance, if the electrical equipment operates at a higher voltage, the required working space depth increases to provide additional protection for personnel. Similarly, the presence of exposed live parts necessitates a more cautious approach to ensure adequate clearance and prevent accidental contact. Obstructions within the working space are strictly prohibited, as they can impede safe access to the equipment and increase the risk of electrical accidents. These obstructions can include fixed objects like walls or pipes, as well as temporary items like storage boxes or tools. It's crucial to maintain a clear and unobstructed working space at all times. The NEC provides specific guidelines for working space dimensions based on voltage levels. For equipment operating at 150 volts or less to ground, a minimum working space depth of 3 feet is required. For equipment operating between 151 volts and 600 volts, the minimum working space depth increases to 3 feet for condition 1, 3.5 feet for condition 2, and 4 feet for condition 3. Condition 1 refers to situations where there are exposed live parts on one side of the working space and no grounded parts on the other side. Condition 2 applies when there are exposed live parts on one side and grounded parts on the other side. Condition 3 covers situations where there are exposed live parts on both sides of the working space. For equipment operating above 600 volts, the working space depth requirements are even more stringent, varying with voltage level and configuration. The width of the working space must be at least 30 inches, or the width of the equipment, whichever is greater. The height of the working space must be at least 6.5 feet, or the height of the equipment, whichever is greater. Adequate lighting is essential within the working space to ensure clear visibility and prevent accidents. The NEC requires sufficient illumination to safely perform tasks such as operating switches, inspecting equipment, and making repairs. Emergency lighting should also be provided in case of a power outage. Access to the working space must be readily available and unobstructed. Doors or other access points should be wide enough to accommodate personnel and equipment. The path of egress from the working space should be clear and free from obstacles. Proper labeling of electrical equipment is crucial for identifying the equipment and its associated hazards. Panel boards, disconnect switches, and other devices should be clearly labeled with their voltage, amperage, and function. Warning signs should be posted to alert personnel to potential hazards such as arc flash and shock. Regular inspections of electrical equipment and working spaces are essential for identifying potential problems and ensuring continued safety. Inspections should be conducted by qualified personnel who are familiar with the NEC and electrical safety practices. Any deficiencies identified during inspections should be promptly corrected. Training is a critical component of electrical safety. All personnel who work on or around electrical equipment should receive adequate training in electrical safety practices. Training should cover topics such as hazard awareness, lockout/tagout procedures, personal protective equipment, and emergency response. Lockout/tagout procedures are essential for preventing accidental energization of electrical equipment during maintenance or repair. These procedures involve disconnecting the equipment from its power source and securing the disconnect switch in the off position with a lock and tag. The lock and tag should only be removed by the person who installed them. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is essential for protecting personnel from electrical hazards. PPE can include items such as insulated gloves, safety glasses, and arc-rated clothing. The type of PPE required depends on the specific hazards present. In summary, the NEC working space requirements are designed to ensure the safety of personnel working on or around electrical equipment. These requirements address factors such as working space dimensions, obstructions, lighting, access, labeling, inspections, training, and lockout/tagout procedures. Compliance with these requirements is essential for preventing electrical accidents and protecting lives. The 30-inch width requirement for working space in front of electrical equipment, as specified in NEC 110.26a, is not always required to be directly centered on the equipment. The code emphasizes that the working space must be sufficient for safe operation and maintenance of the equipment. The handbook drawing illustrates a scenario where 3 panel boards are placed side by side. In this configuration, the 30-inch working space extends across the front of all 3 panel boards rather than being centered on each individual panel board. This arrangement is acceptable under the NEC as long as it provides adequate space for personnel to safely access and work on the equipment. The key consideration is whether the working space allows for safe operation and maintenance. If there is sufficient room to maneuver, inspect, and repair the equipment without obstruction, the working space is considered compliant even if it is not perfectly centered. Several factors influence the determination of sufficient working space. Firstly, the voltage of the equipment plays a crucial role. Higher voltage equipment typically requires greater working space to provide increased protection against arc flash and electrical shock hazards. Secondly, the presence of exposed live parts affects the necessary working space. If there are exposed live parts, the working space must be large enough to prevent accidental contact. Thirdly, obstructions within the working space can compromise safety. The NEC prohibits obstructions that impede access to the equipment or hinder safe work practices. Finally, adequate lighting is essential for safe operation and maintenance. The working space must be well lit to allow personnel to clearly see the equipment and perform tasks effectively. In situations where the working space is shared by multiple pieces of equipment, such as the 3 panel boards in the handbook drawing, the overall size and configuration of the space must be carefully considered. The working space should be large enough to accommodate all of the equipment and provide sufficient room for personnel to work safely. It is also important to ensure that the equipment is arranged in a way that minimizes the risk of accidental contact with energized parts. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for working space dimensions based on voltage levels and other factors. These guidelines should be consulted to ensure that the working space meets the minimum requirements. In addition to the NEC requirements, it is also important to consider any applicable local codes or regulations. Some jurisdictions may have more stringent requirements for working space than the NEC. It is always best to err on the side of caution and provide ample working space to ensure the safety of personnel. Ultimately, the goal of the working space requirements is to protect people from electrical hazards. By providing adequate space for safe operation and maintenance, the risk of accidents and injuries can be significantly reduced. Remember that the 30-inch width requirement is not a rigid rule that must be followed in all cases. The key is to provide sufficient working space to ensure safety. If there is any doubt about whether the working space is adequate, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. Consider a scenario where a panel board is located in a narrow corridor. In this situation, it may be impossible to provide a 30-inch wide working space that is centered on the panel board. However, as long as there is sufficient space to safely access and work on the panel board, the installation may still be compliant with the NEC. Another scenario involves a panel board that is located in a corner. In this case, the working space may be obstructed by the adjacent walls. However, If the obstructions are minimal and do not significantly impede access to the panel board, the installation may still be acceptable. It is important to document any deviations from the standard working space requirements. This documentation should include a description of the specific conditions that necessitate the deviation and an explanation of how the safety of personnel will be maintained. The documentation should be kept on file and made available to electrical inspectors upon request. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document, and it is important to have a thorough understanding of its requirements. If you have any questions about the working space requirements or any other aspect of the NEC, consult with a qualified electrical professional. The primary purpose of NEC Section 110.26 is to establish a safe working environment for individuals who may need to interact with electrical equipment while it is energized. The dimensions specified, including the 30-inch width and 36-inch depth, are minimums. Providing more space is always acceptable and in some cases may be necessary to adequately address specific site conditions or equipment configurations. Think about the types of tasks that electricians and other qualified personnel might perform while working on electrical equipment. These could include troubleshooting, repairs, routine maintenance, and inspections. Each of these tasks requires sufficient space to maneuver tools, test equipment, and replacement parts safely. A cramped or obstructed working space can significantly increase the risk of accidents, such as electrical shock, arc flash, and physical injury. Now consider the potential consequences of an electrical accident. Electrical shock can cause burns, muscle contractions, cardiac arrest, and even death. Arc flash, a sudden release of electrical energy through the air, can generate intense heat and pressure waves, causing severe burns, blindness, and hearing loss. Physical injuries can result from falls, trips, or collisions with objects in a cluttered working space. The NEC working space requirements are intended to mitigate these risks by providing a safe and accessible area for personnel to perform their work. The code recognizes that the specific requirements may need to be adjusted based on the unique characteristics of each installation. The exception allowing the working space to be off-center reflects this flexibility. The key is to ensure that the overall working space is sufficient for safe operation and maintenance, regardless of its exact location relative to the equipment. For example, if a panel board is located near a wall or other obstruction, it may be necessary to increase the width of the working space on one side to compensate for the reduced space on the other side. Similarly, if the equipment is particularly deep or complex, it may be necessary to increase the depth of the working space to provide adequate room for maneuvering. The NEC also addresses the issue of dedicated equipment space. This refers to the area above and below electrical equipment that must be kept clear of obstructions to allow for proper ventilation, wiring, and maintenance. The dedicated equipment space requirements are separate from the working space requirements, but they both contribute to the overall safety and accessibility of electrical installations. The dedicated equipment space above the equipment is typically required to extend to a height of 6 feet above the equipment or to the structural ceiling, whichever is lower. The dedicated equipment space below the equipment is typically required to extend to a depth of 6 inches below the equipment. These spaces must be kept clear of piping, ductwork, and other non-electrical equipment. Maintaining adequate working space and dedicated equipment space is not only a matter of code compliance, but also a matter of good engineering practice. By providing a safe and accessible environment for electrical work, you can reduce the risk of accidents, improve the efficiency of maintenance operations, and extend the lifespan of your electrical equipment. Think about the long-term benefits of investing in proper working space. While it may seem like an unnecessary expense at first, the cost of an electrical accident can be far greater. In addition to the direct costs of medical treatment and property damage, there are also indirect costs such as lost productivity, legal fees, and reputational damage. By prioritizing safety and providing adequate working space, you can protect your employees, your property, and your business. Remember, the NEC is not just a set of rules and regulations. It is a comprehensive set of guidelines designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. By understanding and following the NEC working space requirements, you can create a safer and more productive environment for everyone. Consider the role of the electrical inspector in ensuring compliance with the NEC working space requirements. The electrical inspector is responsible for verifying that electrical installations meet the minimum safety standards. This includes inspecting the working space around electrical equipment to ensure that it is adequate for safe operation and maintenance. If the inspector finds any deficiencies, they will issue a notice of violation and require the contractor to correct the problem. The electrical inspector plays a vital role in protecting the public from electrical hazards. Their expertise and diligence help to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant with the NEC. Remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone who works on or around electrical equipment has a role to play in preventing accidents. By following safe work practices, using appropriate personal protective equipment, and maintaining adequate working space, you can help to create a safer environment for yourself and others. The NEC is a living document that is constantly updated to reflect new technologies and best practices. It is important to stay informed about the latest changes to the NEC so that you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. You can access the latest version of the NEC online or through your local library. You can also attend training courses and seminars to learn more about the NEC and electrical safety. By investing in your knowledge and skills, you can become a more competent and confident electrical professional. The handbook drawing is simply an interpretation of how the code can be applied, and is not the rule. The rule is found in NEC 110.26a, in the specific edition being referenced. The handbook is published by the NEC as an aid to clarify, but it should be thought of only as a clarification to the code and not the rule itself.